after having the lead time distribution diagram, now we want to go towards the cumulative flow diagram, the CFD. And we start with a new sheet and we get the data from the raw data, but this time we collect it from the same raw data, but we sort it this time, and we sort it by the timestamp. So we can see here that we can sort it by the timestamp column in an ascending order. To be able to work with this as data for the CFD, we will use the timestamp and convert it to a readable format. So we again divide it by the milliseconds in a day, because we have those milliseconds in a day as a timestamp format. And now we have the date which shows 1951. This is because the JavaScript timestamps has milliseconds from 1970 and the Google Sheet changes that from 1900. So we just add the time for the 1st of January 1970. And then we have the proper date and we can use it. Now we can use the transitions, and we will use all the names from our rows in our board. And we start with the last one in the beginning because it makes it easier to draw the diagram. And now we will just count what these items are. And we will just count the items when they come into the lane and when they go out of the lane. So we will see in column E which stage it was coming to. And then we will count up one. And if it goes out of a column, that is in column C, then we will deduct 1. Now we copy this to all the sections and see at the end result a -1. And this happens because we are missing the first part, and we just did it on purpose because we cannot add it to the first column, so we have to start there with an empty cell, and then we end up with a result 0 at the end. Now we can use that formula and copy it to the left-hand side and can use it for each column. We used all the $signs in this formula so that we can copy it to the lower and to the left part. So we fixed the columns for the names of the columns from our raw data, and we fixed the rows for the names of our columns in our own data, so we can copy it down without changing the reference. And now we can take this data completely and create easily the CFD. We can change it to a stacked area chart, and then we already have a CFD. We have a little problem here. We see there is something that we do not expect to see, and that just comes from we mislabeled our finance, which was financing in our data, and then it suddenly looks good. And that's how we can easily go to a CFD from our Miro data.